There is only love. Everything else is a lack of love. There is only love. Everything else is simply a lack of love. I was sitting on the beach one day when I was in the UK, and I was sitting on the beach near my house, and it was about February time. It was freezing cold, and I was looking at the grey skies and the grey sea, and it was really, really choppy. And I was wearing quite a long dress and a pair of white trainers, and I just heard very clearly in my body, take your trainers off and put your feet in the sea. And it was freezing cold. This is in the southeast of England, so not in Scotland where I'm from, which is much colder up there. And my initial reaction was just to be like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take my trainers off and put my feet in the sea in February. It's absolutely freezing. And it was one of those February days where it was really, really biting wind, and it's on the coast in the southeast. And when you receive messages through your body, they're very distinct, right? It's take your shoes off and put your feet in the sea. That was it. There was no, it was a command. It was a command from my heart rather than a thought. It was a command. It was do this thing. And there was no arguing with it. But of course, my brain, my ego tried to argue with it. I was like, no, it's too cold. I don't want to take my shoes off. There's rocks. I don't want to hurt my feet. And I come up with all these lovely reasons why I shouldn't take my shoes off and put my feet in the sea. And then end up, I did what my body told me to do, and I took my shoes off and walked towards the sea. And as soon as I put my feet into the water, and it was shallow, I didn't go right in, I still had my dress on. I put my feet into the water, and I heard very clearly in my body, there is only love. Everything else is a lack of love. And I had been meditating for a couple of days before it on what my mantra was for life, because I was reading this book called The Holy Womb. I can't remember the author of it. I'll find out the name of the author and we'll put it in the comments. It's a really good book called The Holy Womb. And that says everyone has a personal mantra that's written on their soul. And I was really excited when I read the book, and I wanted to know what my personal mantra was. And I'd been meditating on it for a couple of days before I sat on the beach that day. And I heard the mantra through my body. I heard it from my heart. It didn't come from my brain. It came from my soul, my heart, my body. It's hard to describe the difference between the two, because many people who I've worked with have said to me, well, how do you know it's your body, not your ego? And it's hard to describe, to sit here and logically describe what it feels like, other than to say it's a feeling and not a thought. And it comes in really, really fast and really distinct and really solid, right? It's a solid answer to a question, it's a solid direction, it's a solid action that you need to take, it's a solid command through the body. That day it was take your shoes off, put your feet in the water. It was solid, it was firm, it was self-explanatory of what I was to do. It came in fast and then left again. It's almost like you've got to catch it. You have to try and catch the command as it comes in, or the feeling that as it comes into your body. It's like it comes in and out again really, really fast, like a flash of inspiration, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And I learned that day that that is my mantra. There is only love. Everything else is a lack of love. That was probably 2021, 2022. We're now in 2026. And I have been challenged on that mantra probably every day since then. Challenged to understand and to believe and to trust that there is only love and everything else is a lack of love. And that love is the emotion, the power and the foundation of everything that we have on this planet. Everything that is done in love is done well. Everything that is done through the heart is the actions that we are supposed to take. And the only trouble that we have, the only challenge that we have is differentiating between love of the heart and fear of the ego. And if there is only love and everything else is a lack of love, then fear is essentially just a lack of love for the situation that you're in. Now, we all know that obviously fear is a survival mechanism that we have within our bodies, that if we are being chased by a lion, or if we're in a situation where our lives are in danger, then we need to deploy fear. And fear comes in fight or flight, fawn or freeze. And we choose, our body will automatically choose one of those things to keep us safest, because our body is really, really super intelligent. And so we're in actual physical danger where we need to access fear and need to access a fear response in order to stay alive, then our body will automatically do that for us. It's not something that we cognitively have to think about. Now, this has been shown time and time again to us, in situations where I've read recently about, I think she was a Swedish woman who her house went on fire in the middle of the night and she had something like, I can't remember exactly if it was 6 kids or 8 kids, but she ran into the house however many times and rescued each child one at a time from the house. And one of the things she said was, I didn't have time to think. I just knew I had 8 kids, so I had to save 8 kids. And that was her children's lives were in danger. She was in danger, her body was in danger. And adrenaline kicked in, fight or flight kicked in, her body did the thing that it needed to do, and she saved all of her kids. And she was very badly burnt herself, but she survived. And when I read her description of what happened, it was very much instinct, intuition. My body did what it needed to do. I just kept running back into the burning house and saving every child that I needed to save. And she somehow found the strength to do it and get all of her kids out of the house. And when all the kids were out of the house, she lost consciousness because her body had done all the things that it needed to do to keep her and her family safe. And then she lost consciousness, like she was able to relax into what was supposed to happen in her body, which was a complete loss of consciousness due to the pain that she was in. Now, that's an extreme example of that, but that is when you are placed in an actual fight or flight, fearful, you could lose your life situation. Your body, your really, really intelligent, wise body, will the wisdom of it will kick in, and you will choose the fear response that is most matched to keeping you alive and to helping you survive in that situation. Anything other than that that we feel that is fear, that is not life or death, then what's actually happening is it's your ego that feels like it's going to die. A version of you feels like it's going to die if this thing happens. So I was coaching someone this week, and one of her recurring thoughts is, I don't have enough time in the day to do the things on my to-do list. And she said, it's a fear response. It's like constant thoughts. The energy of fear is traveling up through my system and creating the thoughts of I don't have enough time. Now, that fear is not I don't have enough time. That's not what the fear is. The fear is the last step. It's not I don't have enough time. What is the actual fear? The fear is I'm not going to get the things done. I'm not going to tick the things on the to-do list. Therefore, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to keep up the identity that I've created as the woman who gets things done and who does everything right. Therefore, I'm not who I say I am. Therefore, I may get kicked out of the tribe. Now, that could be with her boss, it could be with her parents, it could be with her partner, it could be with anyone. If I'm not who I say I am, if I don't do the things that I usually get validated for, then I'm somehow going to lose my place in this tribe. And it's an ego death rather than an actual literal death. And that ego was created in childhood. It was the little girl inside of her. It's like, I have to be a good girl. I have to get things right. I have to tick all the boxes on the to-do list. I have to get straight A's. I have to be seen to be the person that everybody else can rely on. If that ego, that identity is taken away from her, then that feels like death. And that feels like fear. And fear is lack of love. That's all it is. So if we could somehow just start to love that situation and love that version of her that she created and love that little girl that's running the show, if we pour love into that situation from the heart and not from the brain, which creates the thoughts to keep us safe, then we can alchemize the fear back into love, okay, which is the mantra that was written on my soul that day on the beach in February 2021 or 2022. I think it was 22. That there is only love and everything else is a lack of love. So how do we know that we are accessing love and not lack of love, which is dressed up as fear? Is you feel it in your body, you feel it in your heart, it's a knowing, it is a knowing inside your system that this is the thing that you're supposed to do, that this is the path you're supposed to take, this is the action that you're supposed to take that day, this is the way that your life is supposed to turn out, because your body is really, really wise and really intelligent, and your body wants the best for you. You have in your physical body, you have your soul, which is a direct connection, a direct descendant of the energy that we call God. You have a spark of God within you that is called your soul. And that spark of God wants you to have the most joyful, blissful, highest golden life possible. And that comes through the heart. And some of the things that you will be asked to do on that big, joyful, glorious path will be challenging for you. But they won't be challenging for your heart. They'll be challenging for your ego, which is the version of you that created in childhood that wants to stay safe by doing the things that other people expect you to do and by doing the things that correlate with the identity that you created in childhood. So the mantra for today is there is only love. Everything else is a lack of love. How do we know that we're accessing love and not fear? You feel it in your body. How do we get into our bodies to feel it? I'm going to tell you the same thing that I say every day. Take a bath. Take a bath. Lie in the water, sit in the water, put your hand on your heart and ask your heart, not your brain, which is amazing and keeps all the tabs open for the tasks that you've got to do and the cooking and the cleaning and the to-do lists and the work and the methodical, structural things that you have to do. Not the brain. We don't need the brain when we're in the body. We just need the heart. You put your hand on your heart in the bath and ask your body, what does my body need today? What does my heart need today? And there will come a command through your body. It will come through your heart. You will hear it. It will come in fast. It might be strange. It might not feel good to you because if you're a busy woman, it might feel like rest. The word might be rest, relax, do something out of the ordinary, and that might not feel good to you, but it doesn't feel good to your ego, the child, the inner child that you created in childhood to stay safe. She doesn't need to be running the show anymore. The version of you that runs the show is the Divine Mother, the heart, the womb, the spark of God that is your soul. And we find that by coming back out of the head into the body. Put your hand on your heart and ask your body what it needs today. There is only love. Everything else is a lack of love. I hope you have a wonderful day.